Which band? Your high school band?
Yes, sir. 12th season.
Oh, you're getting it. Do they get into a lot of fall football halftime shows and stuff?
All of the above and competitions to boot.
Competition to boot. Do
My,
you do
my,
more than-
my calendar between now and around the first week of November is jammed, and that because I also march for the Drum and Bugle Corps out of PA, so I don't lack for like musical things. Hey John, do me a favor, if you can boot for some reason you're coming in real soft, and I'm showing 100% audio on my side.
Hi, guys.
Hey Mike.
I
How you
know.
doing?
Hey, Mike.
I'm early today.
Yes, you are, but at least you're here. We're glad you are.
How you guys been?
We're good.
I've been pretty well. How about you?
I wake up in the morning, and if I don't catch my wife holding a mirror under my nose, I know I'm in good shape.
Well, as I'm fond of saying, I did a project in Delaware several years back. I had to go to every assisted living facility in the state of Delaware, including their memory care units. And, if I always used to say, if you wake up in the morning and you're able to take sustenance and recognize it, you're in good shape.
Yeah, you're right. No, it's just getting. We've been doing some landscaping, and the older I get, the harder it is. And it's funny. When you wake up in the morning, all the wrong parts of your body are stiff compared to when you were younger.
Different stiffness.
Yes, exactly.
Well, Mike, you were on vacation last time, right?
Yeah, we went. We were in Maryland. My grandson was supposed to get some surgery, but he developed a very high fever, and they had to cancel it. So it's been postponed. So till the end of September. So we're just going to wait and see how that pans out.
And where do you live now? Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Melbourne Beach, Florida.
Oh, okay.
I'm about 2 hours above north of Spike.
Oh, okay.
So, and now we have that huge rockets going off this weekend. We went the other day to go to the beach and watch it take off, that moon rocket, and it got scrubbed. And we're going to shoot again for Saturday. We're going to go back out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Mike, this is really a none of my business question.
Yeah.
And feel free just to say so. So what kind of work does your grandson need?
He's got to get his tonsils and his adenoids out, but he's got a kidney condition that it compromises it. So he's got to make sure there's a lot of things that are in balance. So he's not losing a lot of protein in his urine and stuff. It's not just you could go in the hospital and get that done.
Right.
So it's got that compromising issue right there. So, but we go to help with my granddaughter, and 4 adults is not enough for her. She needs more adults. So, God.
Well, we'll be keeping our fingers crossed here at this end.
Yeah, I'll guys keep you posted when when that happens. And
How old is your grandson, Mike?
pardon me?
How old is your grandson?
He's 6. He just started first grade.
Oh,
Yesterday was his first day. So, and my granddaughter is she's 3, and then I have another grandson who lives in Punta Gorda, Florida, which is on the west side. He's 2. So they're coming this weekend to go look at the rocket.
well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That should be fun.
Hey, Tom, I turned my mic up. Is it any better?
I'm sorry.
I turned my mic up. Is it any better?
What?
Yes, I can hear you now. Thank
What'd
you.
you say?
Okay.
I appreciate that. Even though hearing aids are now available over the counter, I still appreciate that.
John Ganguza.
He's coming.
I see his name up there.
Yeah, he's trying to connect. Look at that.
It's connecting to a soprano speakerphone. That was a really bad joke, I know.
That's all right. We're used to bad
Yeah.
jokes.
Mike, are you still? Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
There he is. You're muted, John.
What?
Computer, audio.
You know, old people and computers is not a good thing.
You should see on your controls for your joining the meeting, check check down in the bottom and see if there's a place where it says mute, unmute.
What?
I can't unmute you. I can ask you to get unmuted.
See if you got a little microphone icon that's got a little line through it.
Yeah, it's a little red icon for a microphone.
Maybe in the bottom of your, depending on your layout, it might be on the bottom on the left.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Bob Z. Long time no see.
Good to see you.
Thank you. I had to laugh. I joined the meeting, but then I had to get updates on Zoom. And
Yeah,
then
me
once
too.
once I did the updates, then it took me a while to get here.
Yeah, you're all good. We're trying to get John Ganguzza to figure out how to unmute.
What?
Still not there.
That doesn't get old, does it?
Hey, Joe. There's Joe.
There's another muted guy.
There he is. Hey, what do you guys see on your display where you mute and unmute yourselves? Can you see it?
John's twin brother, John's on here too.
Oh, there we go. John, yeah, you made it.
Yes,
Hey, John, did you sign on again? Because you're down here at the bottom twice.
oh, yeah, I had to sign in again.
Okay, because I'm getting a lot of John Ganguzza today.
Get rid of me.
Okay.
Too late.
There you go.
There we go. Well, I got an email from Doug Lint who said he's up in Alaska on a cruise, so he's not going to make it tonight. But I hadn't heard from anybody else. Did you, Tom?
Paul Mayer.
Oh, he's not going to make it?
No, Paul said he was going to try and make it. I think, is that right, Bob?
All right.
Yeah, Doug Lint hung me out to dry on that one. I can't communicate because I'm on a cruise in Alaska. I mentioned your name and they said, get bail money. I'd lived in Anchorage for 28 years. So
Joe,
Why did you live in Anchorage for 28 years?
well, Mother Air Force said,
Okay.
you need an overseas assignment. So your choices are the Philippines, Germany, or Alaska. And I went, Alaska's overseas. And they said, yep. And as your last choice, you're heading out now.
Okay.
And that's how I got there. And I stayed for 28 years.
Wow.
how many years were you in the Air Force, Tom?
10 years, 2 months, 12 days, but who was counting?
So what was your rank when you got out?
Tech, turned down master.
Oh, okay. John Ganguzza, you've got us all out.
I'm sorry, what?
How many people have asked, said, you had half a career, why'd you get out? Well, I said, because it was time. It was time.
I said, John Ganguzza, you've got us all outranked.
Yeah, I stuck around long enough.
Hey, Joe, I saw that you had been out on your motorcycle traveling. Are you back home?
Yep. Yeah, I'm back home.
Were you smoking weed in Woodstock again?
He didn't
Well,
say no.
we stopped in Woodstock on the way back from a wedding in Providence back in May, and met an old hippie sitting out there. You know, he's giving tours and stuff, and they have a big old museum out there now. But no, my wife and I went out to Yellowstone on the motorcycle, and we about killed ourselves in the heat. We figured we'd leave Hays, Kansas, and go north to South Dakota, and it'd be cooler up there. But it was 107 in Murdo, South Dakota, up on
Oh,
the
man.
interstate.
Yeah. Just for the benefit of the group, in case anybody missed it, if memory serves, you actually were present at Woodstock back in the day.
Yeah, I turned 18 sitting up in that music festival. I mean, among all the dead alfalfa grass and marijuana and everything else that was garbage.
Had good times. Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
I heard that has a secondary effect on you just being there, Joe. Is that right?
It what are you talking about, the contact high? What?
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Joe, I was curious when I saw you on Facebook on your motorcycle, how do you negotiate the bison and the bear and Yellowstone when you're riding around there?
You stop, and they cross the road. Bears don't they don't come on the road when there's cars and stuff. They just, but the bison and sometimes the elk, they get on the road while you're driving, and you have to just kind of slow down and let them cross the road. And sometimes it takes a while. The park is theirs, and it's open range right there. You have to watch out for antelope in the flatlands, and you have to watch out for obviously deer all the time.
Did you ever have a run-in with any wildlife when you're on your bike?
No, I've hit a couple meadowlarks and things like that, but no, I've never had a run-in. I've had to avoid a couple turkeys out here in Kansas.
Yeah, I do that every day. They're on I-4.
I see.
Perfect.
Yes.
Wow. I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Oh, I was going to double check, Joe. You're on the trike now, right?
Yeah, yeah, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just got that about a year or so ago, and prior to that, we had been all the way down to Pensacola on two wheels, and back again up through Nashville and Memphis, and but it was getting time. You just don't have the muscle strength to hold up you and your wife and the bike and the luggage. So yeah.
I remembered what I was going to ask you. Were you there before the flood or after?
Oh, it was after the flood, yeah, and the roads were actually pretty good. We didn't get up to the northern loop, where the road was washed out by the Yellowstone River, but we did see some of the damage on some of the roads, and also we got to see some of that forest fire damage they had about 6-7 years ago. It's still very evident up there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dead pine because of the beetles up there.
Yeah, you can see where that goes through, and the people in the park, they just say that's just part of the evolution of the park. Forest fires and beetle kill is just part of it all.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben Cutarelli.
Pardon?
I say, hey, Ben Cutarelli.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, guys. How you
there he
doing?
is.
Hey, Ben.
How's it going?
Glad you could join us. Did you have to cancel one of your teaching gigs to join tonight?
No, I did not.
Oh, good. Okay.
It was this afternoon. It just happened to be a Wednesday where it was in the afternoon instead of the evening. So I'm good.
Very cool.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Oh, there he is. Now we could start. Spike is
Okay,
coming
we all
on.
hang up real quick. Spike, we don't love you anymore.
That's okay. You
Go
should,
Korean.
there he goes. He's got that beanie on again.
Oh, Spike, you're terrible, man.
Well, thank you.
Spike, you're muted.
You're on mute. M-U-T-E, mute.
Whoop, he had it. There you go.
There you go.
Hello, Spike.
Turn your microphone up.
Oh, can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Okay, well, look, there have been worse things in life.
That's another challenge. All right. Well, Spike, we can't hear you. We heard you, saw your lips moving, but we couldn't hear you. Nope, you're muted now.
Sounds like a Pink Floyd, lyrics from a Pink Floyd song.
Okay.
Your lips are moving, but I can't hear, can't hear what you say. So
It's like watching a Japanese movie with subtitles.
Try talking to us now, Spike. Can we hear you? No,
speak. Woof, woof, speak. Woof, woof.
he froze up now.
Spike, can you understand what I'm saying?
Hey, my youngest daughter actually took American Sign Language for 3
Did you?
years in high school.
Get her in here.
I still can't figure her out. So
No.
there you go.
I think he froze up on us, frozen.
Yeah, his beanie stopped.
Yeah. Well, we should jump into all the nitty gritty and see what we can do here. So,
Well, I gotta give you the floor for a second. No, when we went back and we were talking about going back to Memorial Day, we had taps around America. It was supposed to be at 3:00 and you go outside and I went outside and there was nothing. And I know a lot of you guys were legitimate musicians in the drum corps. Me, I was just the drum corps cat. Once I got done with corps, I was done. So after I was mulling it over after the Memorial Day thing. I said, I told my wife, I got to do something. I said, I'm going to buy a trumpet. So I figured, I could muddle through something. So I went out and I through Costco's, I bought a trumpet.
oh, wow.
I got an instruction book.
Instruction.
And the best thing of all, they gave me a mute. So with those three, I also got a 3-pound can of tuna fish through Costco's, but we ate that, so I can't hold that up right now. So now I started playing. I'm going through the book. I could read and just learning the fingering and stuff. So I got halfway through the book. I said, I want more. So I get trumpet lessons now. The teacher comes to my house, and it's I'm coming up with my third lesson. And I'm playing music. My wife understands it. The dog lays on the bed and listens to me, and I'm just having a great time. So, and she said that go get it. There's a book called Tune a Day for trumpet. So I ordered it. You get a CD that plays the backup music. So I'll be like, I'm playing with the band. So I could play the music and the backup music on the CD, but I'm just having a blast, and I'm going to be ready for Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So I'm really having a good time with it.
How's that smaller mouthpiece, Mike?
It didn't take long because I've been away from the bigger mouthpiece for 50 years, so it didn't take long. And she did say I was the oldest student that she's ever had. And her mom says, she says, I hope this guy lives, because she had somebody who was 85 wanted piano. She teaches piano too, and he died before the first lesson. So I'm one up on that guy anyhow, that's for sure. But I wanted to share that because I'm just having a good time with it.
That's very cool. Mike, I think we heard you.
Yeah, I made it back.
Yeah, there you go.
Says my internet connection is unstable, so I might be gone again.
Like the owner.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
You need to feed the squirrels while they're doing their thing, you know?
Please don't talk about me when I'm gone.
But to follow on to Mike's story, Mike, that's fabulous. You're doing that. I mean, this proves a point about never giving up doing anything you
Yeah.
really enjoy. But I was just thinking John Dye's not on tonight, but I know he got I believe he got the trumpet from Paul Mayer. He was talking.
Yeah, I did. I already shared this with Paul. I called him and told him I had to tell somebody. It was before the, before the meeting, but I shared it with him. So we had a long talk about it.
Cool.
So now at the next meeting, are you going to give us a solo?
Yeah, it'll be solo. Nobody can hear you. So the other thing is, it's a B flat trumpet, and I'll always be flat as far as I know. So I'm just trying.
Let's clarify here. That's the guy that was a soloist for Holy Name, Hawthorne, Garfield. Going, you gonna play a solo tonight?
Yes, I will play something and record it.
Hey,
and
Mike,
share.
Mike, how did you find this thing, and how'd you get started with it?
What, the trumpet?
Yeah,
I just decided to buy a trumpet
you
because
say you're taking.
do what?
Okay, you say you're taking lessons
Yeah, so I
over the
went
internet and then playing.
No, I'm not over the internet. There's a teacher comes to the house, but she told me to get the book, the trumpet book that comes with a CD that plays the backup music to the songs that are in the book. So I'll be playing, with the band, but I'll be playing the trumpet part. So
That'd be great.
we hope that's the goal right now.
Maybe you could take that CD and your trumpet and do some, Italian restaurant gigs where you got backup and you're playing and everything.
I can do that. I told my wife I was going to audition for the Salvation Army band for Christmas.
Wait, a minute, we got enough guys here to put together a Salvation Army band.
Mike, I just came back from a Salvation Army rehearsal. We had
Did you?
20 pieces tonight. Good band. Got a very good band.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And she did give me some advice the last week. She says you should lay off for a couple of weeks and then quit. So I'm taking that very serious.
Hey, Jeff Anderson, how are you?
Hey, Jeff, you're muted, buddy.
There he goes, another one.
I'm doing all right.
There he goes.
Good. Is there any way we can see more of your face? It looks like you're below the waterline. There you go.
Well, depending where you live these days, that's a possibility.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're looking good, Jeff.
Thank you. Everybody else looks better than me, though.
Gotta wait till the time.
Hey, I have a question. John Ganguza, somebody else, about the other night in Sunset, and I was walking around the neighborhood and I was thinking about, when you guys used to go play for the cadets in the summer retreat. Well, I wondered, how did they ever select you guys for that? Was that mandatory?
It was on a rotating basis. And what I did, what happened was, we were rotating it, and,
It was your turn every once in a while. That's how you got selected.
yeah, about every 15, 16 days, about twice a month. But what happened was, we were out there one night, and this was during basic training summer, where we used to play the all three meals. And we were out there for supper formation, and Putman was playing the retreat ceremony.
Yeah.
And he played retreat. And then before they went to present arms, he started playing to the colors, and they came up by the ripples. And evidently one of the generals was out there that night, and it raised all sorts of canes. So the next morning I get this notice, go up to Thurston's office. He wants to talk to you right now. So I went up there. It was Vincent. And I went up there and he said, "Do you know how to play retreat?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You better know how to play retreat, because if you don't play it right, it's my butt, it's my butt. What happens to yours?" I said, "Okay." So the next night, I go out there to play retreat, and everybody and his uncle is out there, and I played retreat. Went well, walking down the Bring Me Men ramp, and Vincent comes up to me and he says, "Good job. You got it for the next month. And by the way, you're going to get your next stripe out of this too." So after that, everybody was scared to play retreat. And I thought, well, wait a minute, this is a pretty good deal. I'll charge. So I charged all the Sopranos $4 a month. And I took all the retreats, and as a two-striper, that was an extra $60. That was big money in those days.
That's a great story.
And then in the wintertime, you'd have some days where it snowed and you couldn't play retreat or they took down the flag early or whatever. So by that time, most of the cadets knew me. And so I'd call up and say, "Is the flag still up?" "Oh, don't worry about it. We're going to take it down early tonight." "Okay, thanks." And then I don't know who it was. Somebody said, "Well, if you don't play retreat, maybe we shouldn't pay you for that." And I said, "Wait a minute, I still have to stick around. I'm here whether I play it or not. You're free to go home. You do whatever you want to do." So I said, "And here's the deal. I either collect it from everyone or I collect it from no one." So the one or two that kind of protested, they got nailed by the other guys and said, "Let him have it."
I did not know that story.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Hey, Ray Foster.
Hey, Ray.
Hey,
Good
Ray.
morning.
Morning.
I just fixed some soup, ham and bean soup. And I came over here to my counter and looked and I said, "Oh shit, it's 7:30 and it's 7:51 right now. So sorry to be tardy. I'll have to stay after school or something, but yeah." Whew.
All right. Well, it's good to have you guys. I don't know. It looks like this is the few, the proud, and the whatever.
Not the Marines.
The only guys that are going to step up tonight. So, Bob, you're a senior elder, so we're just glad you're here with us, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Trying to stay awake.
I know we need to get a little more rousing things going on here. So,
No, it's not you guys, it's me.
oh,
Almost past my bedtime.
well, usually Ray Foster is the one that reminds us of bedtime. So, either you and Ray will.
Hey, I'll have you know, I've been staying up till 10 o'clock.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't even watch Johnny Carson anymore,
Okay.
Even on video.
Hey, when Ganguza was talking about the wintertime stuff, I couldn't help but think of the FFWU, fabulous, what was it called? The drum line, that we go out and play. Fabulous Foul Weather Unit. Yeah.
of which I was a member on occasion. Thank you so much. I believe Joe Cridian also had that honor too. Yes.
And
The
Ben,
horn guys were weak, just weak. They're right.
Hey,
we
wait a
knew-
minute, Tom.
we were-
We used to,
We're
as
pretty
horn
smart.
guys, we used to have to go play the bass drum every once in a while.
You play what, Andrew?
the bass
We used to
drum.
have to go play the bass drum every once in a while for your little foul weather groups.
Yeah, but we had to pay that extra $2 a day to do that.
It's not a freebie, Jeff,
A privilege.
Hey, Spike, how you doing, man?
Good.
How's things
How you
down?
doing?
Are you gonna watch the Artemis
Good.
takeoff?
I went to the beach on,
We tried to watch it the other
yeah.
morning. It's not going off again until Friday, is it?
Right.
Saturday.
They canceled Mondays.
It's Saturday now at 2:15.
Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went.
my son's stationed down at Melbourne now.
Oh,
So,
is he?
yeah, well, he's not actually, he's working for a contractor, Northrop Grumman.
Okay.
But yeah, he's right down there
Okay,
at
cool.
Kennedy Space Center.
Well, I live in Melbourne, so we went to the beach to go watch the rocket launch, and then they scrubbed it. Now we're going to go back one. We got
Okay.
a little spot on the beach by Patrick Air Force Base. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to get real crowded, so we're going to head back there on Saturday afternoon too.
Yeah, Russ said he just accidentally, he and Marie were in the vicinity and he was there and they had a front row seat, nothing, I mean, standing, of course, but for that test that went up, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John,
pretty cool.
sorry.
All right, well, let's jump into our little, whatever we got here going and, see if there's anything here that sparks some conversation for tonight anyway.
I was
So
wondering,
let me
by the way, John, I was wondering, does anybody have any recordings of the when we played the Belanger music?
Oh, Dave Belonian.
Yeah.
You mean
All that.
Yeah.
recorded?
I think Roy Perez has put some
Dropbox
stuff out.
for there's, we were in Marshalltown
Mhm.
diagram that he basically put together. So
Okay, yeah, I was curious about that because I haven't found
if
it.
somebody will remind, I'll ask.
Okay.
Like I say, it is out there.
Yeah, Roy Perez has some of them on the Keith Markey page that has Belanger's music, right?
He's
Yeah.
got it. It's also in another place or two, but I just don't have it sitting here in front of me to give to you tonight. Sorry.
Okay,
John, I can send you something to try and help you out on that if you want.
okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, glad to. I'm sorry, guys. I got a little bit of technology. It sounds like y'all were for a while underwater, so I don't know what's going on. So hopefully we can get through this. So
BYU as a football team.
Hey, they're gonna be in the Big 12 next year.
yes, sir. And then
Yeah.
Florida this weekend, guys, Mike and everybody else, they're playing USF. So
Yeah,
Oh,
hey,
that's exciting.
yeah.
I can tell it's exciting to
Yeah.
you, Mike. All right,
Playing down here or out there?
they're playing in Tampa.
Okay,
Can you guys
that'll
see
be interesting.
the Zoom meeting screen?
The BYU football.
I see BYU football.
Oh, you see that? Oh, okay. All right. I thought you guys just were following, I didn't know.
How
Okay.
about that DUI you had? Speaking of your activities.
All right, here we go. I'll put you guys out of the way.
Well,
No,
you're on tiny screen there.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Stop sharing. Thank you.
Hey, so while you're sorting it out, John Gangusa, I don't know if you saw or not, but Jim D'Amico passed away here just not too terribly long ago. Knowing that he also was soloist with Hawthorne and
Yes,
whatnot.
he was the
Anyway, yeah, he just
yeah, he
passed
was
away.
the soloist before Angelica came.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that look? What do you see?
The alumni
Bunch-
board.
Bunch of old guys wearing tans and blues.
Okay,
Hey,
and
Bob
you-
Zarfos, before we move off this picture, Bob Zarfos, Jan Dunnick, I think, is in I want to say the top row there someplace, if you can make it out or not. I think.
Yeah, right. I think you had it right. 1, 2, 3, 4th from the right in the back, I think. Yeah.
Top row all the way over to the left, I think.
Oh,
No, I think it's 4th from the right, guys.
okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy right here?
Yeah, I
The
think.
tall guy.
Yeah.
So that's a guy from the old DC Corps?
Yeah, he was a first soprano with us, and
Oh,
he started having heart issues, and so he switched to playing a baritone, and because he said it was easier on his chest and on his pressure and his whatever,
Mhm.
He kind of loosely sponsors an Air Force drum corps where Air Force musicians launch once a month up in near York, Pennsylvania. And then unfortunately, he was too ill to make it this month. Hey, would you, John Crowder, will you loop the drum major there? Do your wizardry, yeah, drum major. Anyway, he was at the breakfast this just last week, I believe it was, and that's Gabe, and
That's not Gabe.
oh,
Yes,
that's,
it
I'm
is.
sorry, not Gabe.
No.
Go ahead, Bob.
I don't know who it is, but it's not Gabe.
No. Remember I said it was he drum major on our last show. This was it.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
the Colonel's brother.
Gabe
Yes,
standing
indeed.
between the drums.
Huh?
Right here.
Yeah,
Gabe standing
that
between
is
the
Gabe.
drums. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that is Gabe. He was the drum major for that show,
Huh.
2003.
When was this picture taken?
This was 2003 up at Scranton, Wilkes-Barre for the DCA alumni.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. The DC Corps. You guys have seen this before, but I changed it out. So there's our good old buddy Bob Zarfos right there.
Robert Zarfos.
Robert.
Yeah.
There's Lady Killer under his name, doesn't it?
And there's Captain Daughtery. Was he replaced by what's his name?
No.
Crawford?
No. Well, no. Truman was never an officer when he was with the Air Force. He was enlisted. He was the Corps director, but
Oh, in the Air Force. Okay.
yeah, in DC. No, Truman was never an officer. He became an officer when he got to the Marines.
Oh, okay.
After starting in the Marines as a staff sergeant and ended up as a bird colonel.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty darn good career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a buddy graduated high school with. He was in the Marine band. He was a lead trumpet, and he was in DC, and he was on special detail. He had to go. We asked him. We're on Zoom meetings all the time, and they asked him, "Well, did you ever go over to the White House?" And he says, "Oh yeah." He said every day. There were 12 of them selected to go over, and they were an honor guard for all the diplomats that were coming in. But and another guy from Garden City, he was the first French horn player. So the two guys from Garden City were in that Marine band up there. I remember going up to Langley once to audition, and I don't know why I went, or I'm starting to doubt if I went, but I do remember I had to catch a hop back. I took a medevac or something to whatever's in St. Louis. And I was late getting back on base and got an Article 15.
Really?
I don't know why I don't recall auditioning, so I don't know. It's all, I remember a lot of stuff from the past, but I got a blank on that one. Anyway, I just thought that might be interesting. You're
Fair chunk of talent from not a
speaking
huge
of
town.
that.
I say that's a fair chunk of talent from not a huge town.
Oh yeah,
Sort of like the Air Force Corps with all the guys from New York that were in.
yeah. We were. I mean, Garden. Well, when I left Garden City to go to Wichita State, starting my degree, I think the town was about 14,000, maybe 12, 14, somewhere in there. And now it's burgeoning right along. Many businesses. I mean, it's kind of like Stillwater, Oklahoma. Of course, we've got a 4-year university right here, but yeah, I think we'll go over 50,000 this year. Garden City should probably be about 40,000. Yeah.
Well, I think we're all getting older and many changes coming, I'll tell you. It's crazy. Hey, Paul, you talked to us a little about this on the last call. I don't know if you had as much time to talk about it. so I put it back up. We wondered if you wanted to speak about it.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that. I apologize for being late. I was at the Veterans Administration headquarters in Rocky Hill, Connecticut all day today to help out with a career program for homeless veterans and veterans that are looking to change their jobs, and writing resumes and doing mock interviews with people. I'm surprised I'm still awake after being there all day, but it was great to help quite a few veterans up there. It's a big site. So this
Wow,
program,
Paul,
Homes for the
that's-
Brave, is huh?
Kudos, Paul. I mean,
Oh, thanks.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very good guys. Some of them are ex-felons, some of them are, have been through detox programs and a variety of things, but
yeah.
now they're getting their life together, and there's a place for all of them, and they want to find that place. So
Great.
this organization, Homes for the Brave, is another volunteer organization that I belong to, and I serve as the vice chairman for that. And we just had what we call our Step Out for the Brave. It's like a walkathon, and people are asked to get sponsors for how many steps they take. We've asked people to have a minimum of 40,000 steps and do it within probably a week to 10 days time. Just got a call yesterday. We made close to $50,000 with people walking out there with their sponsors, and two young ladies did, I think it was 2,070 steps. They left home and we haven't seen them since, but they've taken a lot of steps, but just a wonderful organization. We've got summer cornhole tournaments. We've got all sorts of events. There's a karate tournament coming up. We've got our 20th anniversary is coming up at the end of the month, and they're going to have bands and food and all that other stuff. We now have 6 homes. We can handle about 82 residents each night. We have a women's house as well. And we also have a house for women and children. The only 2 houses in the East Coast that have female houses. They're all only for men. So we have a walking clinic now as well with industrial, or actually drug therapists and counselors, and it's just been a marvelous event. So if you like to see more programs, just drop on Homes for the Brave. You can see what we do. If you feel like you like to make a donation, any size would be helpful. We're always looking to keep the lights on. And unfortunately, the Veterans Administration has cut our allocation by 52% from what we used to receive. And it's no surprise because those things are happening around the area. So many philanthropic organizations are struggling. So we have to make up that 52%, which is about $450,000. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. We got a lot of cornhole tournaments. We've got a lot of steps to take. We got all sorts of things. We don't do bake sales and car washes, though. I refuse to do that. Anything else that we can do to raise money and help these veterans find their way back again, it's a wonderful thing to see. So thanks for putting that up, John.
I confess I haven't been up to the website, so this is probably kind of a redundant question of some sort, but so what kind of spread as far as geographically do you have right now?
What kind of spread?
Yeah, what kind of spread geographically do you have right now?
I'm not sure I understand.
In other words, what's the reach of the organization at this point? In other words,
we're basically Connecticut, but people find their way to us from Rhode Island and New York, Massachusetts. People arrive at our doorstep with a shopping bag that's everything they own in their life.
Okay.
Knock on the door and say, "Can you help me?" So we don't really limit where people come from, because when they come to our door, it's time for us to act.
Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah. And it ranges from very young veterans, some guys in their 20s, 23, 24, and we've got 2 74-year-olds in the program. So a lot of guys from the Vietnam era, some Korean people. We don't have any World War II fellows any longer, but a lot of Middle East and a lot of folks that have seen some trouble in their life. And now they're trying to get their life back together. We do a lot of job counseling and skills training. Connecticut has been very good. They have a lot of training programs online, and we have an excellent fellow who's a former Navy SEAL who volunteers to do computer training for all our guys and gals. It's just amazing to watch. Just amazing.
Well, kudos to you, Paul.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Good job, Paul.
It's a great
Paul.
organization. We love it. And when you come to Connecticut, let me know. We'll give you a tour of the buildings. You'll be amazed as to what can get done with some dedicated volunteers and hardworking staff.
I
You know,
grew
Paul,
up in,
Paul, we've had conversations with all our representatives because we can't figure out, we've got some organizations like that in South Carolina, but they can't get any funding any place or any help with funding. And yet we give billions of dollars to
Mhm.
all these other countries and all that other stuff. And
Yeah,
it's-
on
it's-
any
it's
given
just
night, we have
amazing.
20, on any given night, we have 20 to 25 homeless veterans on our streets in America. And that's probably a very conservative number because we can't track them all. Some of them, who knows where they go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're sending bucket loads of money other places, and we can't help the guys that helped us here in our country. So,
Hey,
Yeah.
Jeff, where are you living in South Carolina?
Live just north of Greenville, upstate.
Okay. Yeah, we usually go to the beach, we go to Litchfield or Pawleys Island,
Yeah. No,
just,
we're sort of in a great spot because we're about 2.5 hours from Gatlinburg and
Okay.
in Tennessee, and we're about 4.5 hours from Myrtle Beach.
yeah,
So we can
yeah,
kind
you're
of
out there. Yeah, I got my oldest friend, he lives in Asheville, and he's kind of got the same situation.
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes from Asheville.
Yeah,
one last item, if I may, John, about Homes for the Brave. I put together a group of about 6 or 7 veterans who can play taps. And we get calls from funeral parlors and all sorts of places to play taps. And our deal is that we don't ever charge, but if somebody would like to make a donation in memory of the person who's passed, we ask them and we give them a card for Homes for the Brave. And it's amazing how generous people are. A couple of people have sent in $500 in memory of their person who died. And I hope the guy got all the notes right.
Thank you, Paul. That's very admirable. And we expect nothing less from you. You're amazing.
Well, thank you.
All right, let's talk about, we're back on you, Paul. This is on stuff I found on Facebook, but you want to explain to us, I think that's you right there. What are you doing here with this
This is
ensemble?
the group called the Magnificent Brass. We're just brass, no wind, but we have one drummer you can see in the back. And we play at events, drum corps shows, band concerts, opening of laundromats, pet cremation, wherever it is. We'll play anywhere. And, we do it all for free. And all we say is either we play for donuts and coffee, or if you'd like to make a contribution, we've got some bills to pay for music and this and that and the other thing. But we were playing here at the Connecticut Hurricanes show last Saturday night. And we're the opening act, if you can believe that. I never thought I'd be an opening act. But we played for about 45 minutes, and we ended it with the color guard was all the way in the back side of the field. We marched the color guard forward, all veterans, American Legion and VFW fellows. They had about 40 guys in the color guard with rifles and all sorts of things. We marched them forward by playing a medley of the military songs, Air Force and Navy, Marines, etc.
yeah.
And then we ended it with This Is My Country. And then we played the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh,
So it was a great event. These guys are all, just about everybody's a former drum corps cat. And now we're all playing legitimate instruments, B flats and F French horns and tubas and what have you. I play a cornet, and it's great fun. We tallied it up and we have over 350 years of musical experience in the group.
man, that's great. That's great. And then I found this on Facebook. Some of you guys might know, been in contact with Bill Smith. He said he was on day 1, year 11 of his retirement.
Good for him.
I guess that's, maybe he lives in that, I don't know.
No,
Anybody?
he goes down to Nellis.
Oh, okay. See, I knew something.
When it gets cold in Colorado, he goes to Nellis.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, good old Nellis.
And,
Stay downtown. Oh man, Golden Nugget, all that.
Joe, we forgot, when we were
Yeah,
talking
those
about
are
your
some great trips.
tricycle. You had a happy birthday this, last month, right?
Yep,
Nice bike.
yep. Turned
Hey.
71.
Hey there.
And this is what I was talking about. This is Joe posted this on Facebook. That's the life of a motorcyclist, I guess, during summer storms. Is that it?
Yeah, that was thunderstorm with quarter-size hail.
Oh, that feels good.
Luckily, we got to park under the overhang at a convenience store and duck inside.
Yeah. That hail will get your attention. Oh, hail, yes. Yeah.
All right, this is a segment that we have where we talk about Bob, or Bob takes us through the pictures. So you now have your own segment, Bob. It's called What About Bob?
Yeah, my wife asks that question sometimes, you know.
And no one has an answer.
So this was in conjunction with an email you sent to me. And so these pictures, this was after our last Zoom meeting. You sent some things out. And so I thought maybe you'd want to just chat for a moment about each picture.
Sure. This picture is probably 1956. I would have been in the Corps then. The guy playing rudimental bass over here on the left, his name is Furman. He died really young in a drowning accident. The guy with the soprano is Nick Gaddy from New Jersey, very good first soprano player. And then the cymbal player is the guy who was responsible for getting me to the Corps. He's the one who came up and told me there were openings and they were having auditions and took me down for an audition. And that's how I got to the drum corps. His name's Chuck Strasbach. He changed his name to Chuck Christian after he found some special religion in his life. His wife just passed away. He lives in Pensacola. He's got several kinds of cancer right now and is on his last legs. I don't know if Nick Gaddy's dead or not. Lost contact with him.
You know,
I like those Eisenhower jackets, Bob.
I beg your pardon?
I like those Eisenhower looking jackets you
Oh,
had.
listen, that was my favorite uniform. And they got rid of those like late 56, early 57. And the reason ostensibly was that when the horn players put their horns up, the jacket pulled up too high. And they didn't like that. But I thought it was the most wonderful and comfortable jacket uniform to wear to play in, you know. Absolutely. Thanks for noticing that.
and I had a question I noticed in this picture. You guys, your hat brass.
Yeah.
What's the history of that hat brass? Do you know?
Yeah, well, it came from the Air Force Band originally, the DC Band. And if you remember the picture you showed earlier of the guys from York taken in 55, we were wearing traditional Air Force brass.
Yeah.
And so that's why I know this is 56, because that's when the hat brass came. And eventually that hat brass went out to all the Air Force bands around the country and around the world.
Interesting. Well, here's another.
You had that, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So this is the back of our barracks. And the heads here were all painted by guys in the Corps. The four bass drums on the bottom were done by a guy from York who ended up being a commercial artist. And I loved the ones on the end where the eagle had a bugle and a drum in his talons. I'd sure like to know what happened to those heads. They were beautifully done. And look at, and this is
cool.
This is probably 1952, based on the drums that were here. Because when I got there in 54, all those snare drums were gone. So, yeah, but wonderful art. The other thing that's worth noting is how many professional artists or part-time artists came out of the drum line. There were more than a few guys who ended up with degrees in art. So I wonder about somehow the link between drumming and talent with art. We had a lot of guys who went that route.
Huh.
If I could follow on to that, Bob,
Sure.
and I've said this before, as I think you all know, Bob, been a high school principal, English teacher and whatnot. Some of the great drummers around, John Pratt out of West Point and whatnot, were also involved in English, in addition to the arts, had either been involved in English education or poetry. It's kind of same kind of genre, if you will. And you're right, Bob, I have no clue why, but it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, who knew that Jack Pratt was a poet? I mean, and taught English in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Well, I think it's interesting to see how some of the guys that were in our Academy Corps, the direction they went. I mean, it's pretty amazing, really.
Hey, Bob, a question. Why the 4 blue drums and the 2 cream colored ones?
My assumption would be that was early on, and that's what they could scrounge up.
Okay, I didn't know if they were snares.
I never saw a picture of the Corps where they were using those disparate kind of drums, but maybe it was somebody's idea of the blue and the white or something. Maybe it was a color thing. I can't tell you.
Okay, thanks. Curious.
Speaking of guys coming out of the Corps doing things you wouldn't suspect, who would have known that Mike Ruggiano would be a master chemist?
Okay, we don't want to talk about that. But that's what I wound up being is a chemist. I was a polymer chemist, and I just carried that into the paint business.
You were in charge of all the paint at Disneyland, weren't you? Disney World.
Disney World, and I was also the consultant to Disney over in Shanghai and Hong Kong.
Wow.
And so it kept me busy. It was a fun job. So it was the only place I had more fun than in the drum corps. So,
and it all started out with a guy by the name of Beans, right?
Exactly. That was my nickname in junior corps.
Hey, Mike, do you still have that picture when you were in the cherry picker or that lift way on top of the castle at Disney World?
Oh yeah, that was the Temple of Heaven in Epcot of China.
If you could get that picture and share it with the group, it's just amazing.
Sure, I got I've got pictures at the top of the castle at Christmas with nobody on Main Street. That was my favorite. I always loved Walt Disney World except for the guests. Well, no, that doesn't bring any money in.
I guess they were paying the bills though, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. But I'll shoot some pictures over to you guys.
Please do, thanks.
Cool. So Bob, I think we've seen this before, but give us some details a little bit about this picture.
Yeah, well, this is my friend John Bosworth, who was the lead drummer in the pipe band after the Corps broke up, and this is just a posed photograph. He didn't usually play bass drum, but the head's an interesting story because this design was by a girl named Donna Neary, who ended up joining the Marine Corps, became a colonel, and was the official artist for the United States Marine Drum Corps. No, the United States Marine Corps, not the Drum Corps. So this is a really beautiful head, and I think Boz, as we call John, has one of these heads in his possession. Yeah, so that's a really neat thing. And Tom, sometime when you're at my house, I have some paintings by Donna Neary or prints by Donna Neary. Extremely talented lady.
I'll remember.
Was that a real pelt that he was wearing?
Go back a second. Those are what do you call them? Like Jaguar.
Leopard skin.
Yep. And we were coming back one year from we were in Scotland, and we were on the train coming back to England, and we were on the train with a group from called the King's African Rifles from Kenya, and one of our bass drummers befriended a guy who played bass drum in this group, and they spoke very proper English. And they were explaining that to play with their band, they had to go out and kill a jaguar with a spear. And and make the skin. And so this guy went out and killed one and sent it to one of our guys who was playing bass drum. Pretty cool story.
Wow. That's
Wow,
neat.
that's pretty neat. All right, here's a head, drum head.
Yep. And we started having people sign heads when they came to reunions. And
Here's
you
another.
can see, you can see Ricardo Gabriel on there somewhere. You guys, I know you remember him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
And
So
here's
this head now resides in
Gabriel
Gabriel Harv Wolf. Yep.
and Gil McDonald. I put arrows on there.
Uh,
I don't know who else is on there. I don't know.
Wow, I didn't know Gil was in there.
No, he wasn't. Some of the Academy guys started coming to the reunions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and honest to goodness, that was one of the things that helped keep the reunions alive, because our guys were just dropping out all too fast, you know.
Yeah.
Bob, wasn't Gil like maybe the last guy that got to DC just in time for it to be disbanded?
I never heard that, but that could very well be.
I thought, I
Well,
used
you
to
know,
hang
because he
around.
told me,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I used to hang around with Gil a lot, and I think I remember he said he was in the DC Corps for a year before he got shuffled over to the Academy. But you know, I may be mistaken.
You know who?
yeah,
would
he
know-
was.
Who would know is Smitty, because they still see Pat on a very regular basis up there in Boston.
Mike, I've heard the same thing in my conversations with Gil over the years, because he used to talk in very positive ways about the guys in DC at Bowling.
Yeah,
And then he was very disappointed.
Yeah,
but
and
fortunately, he came to the Colorado
I
Springs.
think technically he was the last guy that got to DC, but was sent out to the Academy with the DC disbanded.
Yeah, I'll tell you who might know that would be Gabe, you know. and
Yeah, Gabe would.
comes to our lunches. He might remember that.
When Gil left DC, he went back to Boston and he played in an Army Reserve band for a while. And then he heard about opportunities at the Academy. He kind of made his connections to Gabe perhaps, or whoever, and that's when he came back in. So he wasn't transferred from DC. He went to civilian life for a short while and then came back in.
Huh. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, down in the lower left, there's another guy there that you all should know. Can
Oh,
you just go
Doc's
back there
son.
for a second? Greg Likens.
Right there.
Yeah, Greg's on there too.
Good.
All right, I put this on here because it was on the Museum of Drum and Bugle Corps history Facebook page. Actually, Don Sunny posted the update here. And I don't know if technically I can even play it for you, but I
Boy,
wanted,
it's a great video. It's a great video.
guys, if you go to the, let me try and see. If it works, then fine. If not, then musicianship but I don't know if it's gonna work, but we'll see here.
I believe they have all those listed on their website and also on their Facebook page.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
they-
just get the sound down there.
they
Yeah.
look like little Lego guys.
And these are all alumni.
What?
I'm gonna fast forward a little. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Well, bugles, but amazing.
Their footwork is really good. Those white trousers.
Well, that was pretty impressive right there, I'll tell you. That was pretty
That was at
impressive.
DCI.
But easy, back on track right there. Right there, guys, if you want to follow, there's some great stuff on Facebook, the Museum of Drum and Bugle Corps History. But at any rate, a very extremely impressive organization. They look and sound very impressive. Here's one Ray sent out, and I don't know if this will play, but let's see.
Wow, just the cover.
$7. Just and boom.
Can't imagine.
John, the audio's not really coming through.
Come across. So, all right, some things. This one is on YouTube, for example, so it's out there for the public. Oh, Tom, I grabbed this off of Facebook. I don't know if you wanted to introduce any of your friends or explain what's going on.
Well, this is actually one of my other lives. I worked with these gentlemen when I first came to DC back in 2005, doing Homeland, and I can't really talk about much else past that point, but we hadn't, the three of us from left to right, the three of us that are on the far left here hadn't worked together in about 15 years. And so this is like a gathering of the old guys in weapons of mass destruction and stuff like that. Nothing to do with drum corps at all.
Okay, but hey, we like to find out about our buddies and everything. And this is one that I found on Facebook. Everybody knows Mike Embry's been involved a lot with the veterans there in DeKalb, Illinois, but he's gotten an award there that was pretty nice. And if he was on here, I wanted to recognize him. Maybe he'll see this video. This was one you mentioned about previous, somebody did, I think, previous drum corps, but I saw this one on the Museum of Drum and Bugle Corps History, and I noted this was interesting. Al Ruat, and he's not on, and Bob's not on, so we can talk about him. But I made some comments about how great it was in the Lancers and how they had great uniforms, but beautiful girls. So,
yeah, I was in that corps as well, and so was Bob Morbeck.
Yeah.
And, just a piece of trivia. You see that bass drummer on the left by the snare line?
He was in Cheers.
That's a guy by the name of John Ratzenberger. He was Cliff on Cheers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that is a interesting trivia there. Well, so now that wraps up kind of what we have on the agenda, but our next meeting is going to have to be on the 3rd Wednesday, because I got my wife's birthday on the 28th, and that's pretty important. So I got to move it up, or else you guys can do it yourselves on the 28th.
John, just invite her to the call. Come on. Come on.
That'll work, John. We'll do it that way.
Well, oh, boy, the things we can tell her about you. Wow.
And that's,
I forget that idea. Sorry.
That's why she won't be on any of these calls.
Smart man.
But I did want to offer the invitation, and I was just thinking, Mike Ruggiano, maybe you could embellish or extend your discussion about your photos of your work at Disney and stuff, and maybe kind of tell us a little bit more about your post-academy life in maybe the next meeting or one in the future.
Yeah, let me see if I can put something together, and then I'll gather some pictures. And, you know, mainly, I dealt with a lot of paint. The most interesting part of it was the Disney part and the paint. So, yeah, I should be able to do something.
Well, you know, and your family or whatever you want, but you could just email me the pictures or Tom and he'll send them to me, and then we can make it easy for you to just pull up the pictures and talk about them if you want to do that, okay?
Sounds good.
John, I'll do the October meeting.
Oh, you got it? Okay. Anybody want to sign up for November?
Going once.
All right.
I'll send you some photographs for fill-ins. How does that sound?
Yeah, anybody, as it says, anyone, Bueller?
I do have something, as I always do. Couple things. Hey, John Ganguza, again, our color guard instructor here at the high school that I work with, this is my 12th season. She was with the cadets, played both tuba and march guard, in addition to being at the high end of the WGI. So got a cadet that's there all the time, pretty much anymore. She's a lot of fun to work with. My question was going to be for just kind of the group. We haven't seen Jim Putman in an awfully long time. It'd be great to catch up with him again. Hi, Roy Perez. I don't know why I want to do that, me amigo, but I do. And let's
Tom,
see.
just so you know, Putman's have been doing some traveling.
He's what?
Putman's both have been doing some traveling.
Okay.
I know that they spent a couple weeks in Colorado just a couple weeks ago and touring the back mountains and a few other things. So
Cool. Well, let him know if you talk to him or hear from him. It would be great to see him again. Just wonderful to do that. For those that remember the Bill Ives and the Drum Corps Museum, they actually did achieve legal status as a 501(c)(3) in Pennsylvania and from the feds. And it actually is the Marching Pageantry Arts Museum. So they've made that kind of giant leap forward now also. And so lots of things happening there. I don't think Ben Cuttarelli is still on, but the Bluecoats out of Ohio tied for second, I believe, at DCI, but they did take high drums. And so the Blue Devils were not high drums, and neither was Santa Clara. And just let it go with that. Oh, and if you're looking for a good YouTube video, the Bluecoats 50th anniversary corps performed at DCI also, which is on YouTube. And it was quite a hellacious presentation. So you might enjoy that. Just because the flavor is a little bit different, certainly does not take away from the exquisite musicianship of the performers. So enjoy them. I just toss those things out for you.
I was hoping Al Ruat would have been on the call tonight because I follow his weather out there in Kingman, Arizona. And the next week and a half, it's over 100 every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my gosh. I wonder if he's fried up or he's crispy or whatever.
Who took the high GE?
There's Gary.
Hi,
Hi,
Bugles.
Gary.
Do you have it there, Tom? Who took high GE bugles?
I'm sorry?
Who took the high GE Jim Ott Award? The bugles.
Roy,
I think it's Blue
I want
Devils.
to say it was either Carolina or Blue Devils, one of the two, I believe. I'm not sure which.
You know, we started in Stockton sponsoring that award, the highest GE in 1980 after Jim Ott's passing.
Yeah.
And then we did we started a foundation and a scholarship, $3,000 every year to anybody who goes to DCI who's a member of Drum Corps for a college scholarship. But Jim in '68 and Keith Markey and a bunch of the Sopranos and the guy just little kids, you know, here, do this with your bugle, try this, and you know, your guys who were there in '68, '69. You know, you don't know the impact of your footprint when you go to each city. I mean, I could probably, there's probably 1,000 kids just like myself, all over the US right now to this day that say that you guys inspired them to be a little bit better, to practice harder. And there's a life in the military with Drum Corps, which, you know, for us and for a lot of us, we didn't know. But and I just want to touch on that. The highest GE award awarded to a guy from Stockton who got his first little lessons from like Keith Markey in 1968, and he was barely 17 years old. So
I'd like to follow up on that if I could, Roy. I remember being out there, you know, at the University Pacific Stadium and doing those shows and you know, the work that a number of folks here on the screen here doing work with Santa Clara and the Blue Devils when they were just teeny tiny organizations.
Drum and Bell Corps.
And the other thing is, for those that don't know, Jim Ott was with Spirit of Atlanta when they had the van crash that killed him. And Spirit of Atlanta did not perform this year, but they're planning on being back on the field next year. So there is a lot of hope out there for some good things going on.
Great.
Hey, we wanted to welcome Gary, a late welcome, Gary Hodges and Roy Perez to our meeting.
Sorry.
No
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's the
You guys
Ohio
were-
State thing that surprises us. I don't know.
Big game this Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. Big game.
Notre Dame. Yeah. Hey, you guys were talking about caption awards. I have them here. Boston had color guard. Blue Devils took visual, brass, and GE, and Blue Coats took percussion.
There you go.
I was at the
Gary-
show.
Gary, is that a drum head over your shoulder there, or is that a picture?
Yeah, when I was at Ohio State, those are the heads we used from Remo for the
Fantastic.
two, and then the smaller one.
On my
So
bucket list is to be at Ohio State to see the band enter and do Script Ohio State.
Pretty exciting.
Hey, I went
The,
tuba play.
I don't know if you guys know this, but the you know, you see a sousaphone player dotting the I.
Yes,
The actual first one, I think, was a clarinet before they went all brass.
oh,
Yeah, and then they have different sousaphones every game, and it's all based on seniority, how many games they've marched, how many years in the band, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then they pick which game they want. Like usually the one at the top of the list usually chooses the Michigan game or playoff championship. Sometimes they'll double up if they got that.
Yeah.
So it's a different person.
Well, they're predicted for a great season this year, so we might see a lot of them on TV.
Yeah, probably will.
Actually, I caught a video the other night, Gary. And what it was a pregame warm up or practice ahead of the actual entrance where they were practicing for the entrance. And that was just fascinating to watch.
Yeah, they have it's a ramp that comes, you saw it, it's a ramp that comes down. When I was with them, I was the one that signaled the percussion one to come down.
that's cool.
That was one of my gigs. And then I went around to the 30-yard line and I was on the ladder for the rest of the.
Yeah, that was a great shot of that with you on there that we saw.
Oh.
So you may not know this, some of you guys, but I'm kidding. All of my college years, I was playing tuba and a high stepping band. And so I had never marched drum corps. And then of course, when I got there, they gave me a contrabass bugle and said, Crowder, quit swinging that contra.
Yeah, we were afraid you're going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh, well. All right, guys. Well, I hope everybody's getting the recordings of these. Bless your hearts for taking the time to come on here and keep this going. I was just thinking the other day, it's almost been, hasn't it been about a year that we've been doing this now?
Getting close.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Mike, did you tell the group that you're learning to play trumpet?
Yes, I did.
yeah,
And
there it is.
There it is. All right.
I also told him I got it at Costco's with the book, The Mute, and a 3-pound can of tuna fish.
$69.95.
Yeah. Tuna fish is great.
Does it have a rotor on it someplace?
You're
No,
going places, my
I
friend.
am.
No stopping you now.
Hey,
And,
Mike,
I was telling everybody,
Mike.
I have my 3rd lesson coming up. But after the 2nd one, I said this earlier, she gave me some advice. She said, lay off for a couple of weeks and then quit. So I'm going to take that advice seriously.
Now, is that the female instructor that comes when your wife's out shopping? Is that the story?
Maybe. She had orange hair this time. So, and like I said, I'm the oldest student she's ever had.
All
Thanks,
right.
John.
She said, who's your favorite trumpet player? And I went right to the top. I said, Louis Prima. So, she lost all respect for me right after.
His dance.
Do you take requests for songs that you play?
Not yet. I'm working on them.
Okay.
Hey,
We'll come up with something we'll ask you about.
Don't worry. I'll be able to answer it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you will.
since we're gonna focus on you next month, if you want, you can take a little bit of time and play some of your, songs for us if you want next month.
Yeah, you can also bite me on the ass. So, okay with that.
Well, you play something and we'll try to figure out what it is. How's that?
I've never
Like
known
you-
an Italian that was ever embarrassed.
Oh, no, I'm not.
It would be both a privilege and an honor.
Okay. Well, let's work with the pictures from Disney first.
Okay, one at a time.
All right, guys.
All right, guys, everybody go to bed if you need to rest.
Yeah.
What's the date for the next meeting?
It's
21st. I think.
Third, isn't it? Third, first.
Mars.
I don't have my calendar up.
21st of September, Wednesday, 3rd Wednesday, 21st of September. We'll send you out reminders and make sure you're not waiting till the 4th.
Same
It'd be
time.
8:30, where was that, Mike, in China?
Hong Kong?
Okay, 8:30 Hong Kong time.
Oh, God. I've had enough of those meetings. Hong Kong would want to have a
That's way
meeting
too
at
much math for me. And I don't
4
remember
o'clock in the
military
afternoon,
time, so.
so which means I had to be there like 4:30 in the morning, 4:30.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't plan to be up then myself. So.
Okay.
all
All
right.
right.
Hey, see you guys later.
All right, bye-bye.
Till
Be
next
well.
time.
Stay well,
Bye.
everybody.
See you on the
Bye-bye.
21st.
Peace
Stay healthy.
out, man. Peace out.
Guys, just remember who you are and what you represent. That's the best policy.
Take care, Roy.
Okay, you too, all you
Bob, be
guys.
safe.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
for the
Joe,
invite.
good to see you.
Good
Jeff,
seeing you.
looking well.
Thanks for joining, guys.
Thank you,
Good
John.
night. Good night, guys.
Good night. See you, Tom. Bye, Spike.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.